Welcome to Inspiring IT Leaders, where we feature top technology leaders in those amazing expressions they use to communicate, teach, and inspire. I'm Dan Roberts, your host of this series of 5-minute, high-impact micro videos. I am beyond excited to shine the light on the top digital and business leaders who are standout communicators. In this episode, we are featuring Robert Sheesley, who describes himself as a blue-collar CIO. A former Marine, Robert knows how to apply the grit needed to be a great leader. But I dare say his superpower is the grace he displays as the CIO of Wrench Group. So with that, let's listen in, learn from, and be inspired by Robert Sheesley.
Something I use quite often with my team and colleagues is words have meaning. The right words have meaning and influence. And really what that means to me and what I hope I am able to convey to others is words are important. And in the heat of the game, when emotions are high and our passion for our work is evident, it's important to choose the right words, especially when we're trying to influence a particular direction or a conversation that leads to a decision. That ism is grounded in situational awareness, knowing where you're at, knowing who you're with, knowing the topic, knowing the outcome or the expected outcome objective of the conversation. And I think it's also important that with that ism, there's a recognition of the perspectives and fields of experiences and perhaps even the motivations of others in the conversation. So that's one of my favorite isms that I use quite frequently.
Yeah, that's a really powerful one. And I am a big believer in words matter, language matters. Two questions, Robert. One is, a lot of us in this field are introverts. So people will say, well, I can't do that because I'm an introvert. So I want you to maybe push back on that a little bit. And the second one is some people just aren't good in the heat of the moment, and that's just very real world. And I get that. So how do you prepare for success? You do have the right words, the right messaging.
Yeah, I think, with the folks that may not be as outgoing or extroverted, I think there's definitely coaching that needs to be applied. But I think that, stick with what is kind of what I tell the folks who have some apprehension or reluctance to jump into the conversation. You're obviously in the role on the team with the company for a reason. You're bringing some value and some skill and talent, expertise in a particular area. Having grown up in the IT world, a lot of developers, systems engineers are introverts, and they're not as comfortable, especially speaking in group environments and group atmospheres. And so I think one of the ways that leaders can help those folks is to ensure that they're part of the conversation by asking questions, but also by coaching them as part of their development plan.
Yeah, so good, so good. And again, the heat of the moment, right? And I'm like this too. It's like I need to prepare, almost anticipate where the conversations might go. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? I mean, you've got a day that's just stacked like nobody's business. How do you prepare yourself to be successful?
Yeah, I think preparation is really important. I don't get it as often as I'd like because frequently I find myself going from meeting to meeting to meeting. So, but what I try to do is I try to find those meetings or those conversations that are the most important out of my day or my week. And I do try to prepare as much as possible for those. I think, I've read numerous, having been in the military books, and I recall reading once that Napoleon, and perhaps not the best example because he lost his last war, but he had a lot of victories along the way. But Napoleon always tried to simulate what was going to happen based on various positions of where the enemy may be and where they may come from. And I think a lot of that, a lot of Napoleon's techniques have translated into, war strategy that we employ and that we have continued to develop as the United States military. But I think having that perspective on what you might expect from the conversation and alternative points of view that might surface is important when you prepare for a discussion that, ultimately will lead to decision or perhaps action to be taken.
So good. So Robert Sheesley, words matter, language matters, it has meaning, it has influence. Prepare for success. I love it. So helpful. Thanks for the inspiring notes here.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Ryan Becker, and I'm the producer of this series as well as the Tech Whisperers podcast, where we unpack the playbooks of the best digital leaders in order to bring you the expert insights you need to grow in your career. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what you think of the expert advice that was shared. And if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel or check out the Tech Whisperers podcast on any major podcasting platform, as well as right here on our channel. Thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you next week.